Hi everyone, right, today I want to work on Kylie Coo's Junk, Use It or Lose It. This is week 5 and Kylie was making a storage caddy. I want mine to be slightly different to Kylie's, and I've chosen to work with this shoebox. It's one that my husband's shoes arrived in, and it was such a lovely, beautiful, sturdy box that I had kept it, knowing that it would come in handy one day. Whoops, let me make sure I'm in frame. And so I've done a few preparations. I've cut out a piece of cardboard just from a cardboard box that's the same length as my box and the same height as my box this way. And so I want a box with a couple of storage sections in it. I want one long strip to put, I want to store some of my painted papers in this so that I'm more organised. I was watching a video by Tammy Brackett earlier today, and she was organising all of her papers, and I thought, right, she's spurred me into action. I'll leave a link to Tammy's video below as well, because she was sorting through all her papers and it was brilliant. But I want a long section in the back, and then either 2 or 3, I'm not sure yet, smaller sections at the front. So I've got my panel to separate it, which I shall paint and use later. But I also want it shallower at the front so that I can see more easily what's in my box. And so I've decided that I'd quite like that 3 inches in height. And so I've drawn a line along my box, and then I've drawn it, can you see, to the back, so from my 3 inches right to the tip of my box. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and I'm going to cut this out along these 3 sides, and then I shall come back. Right, okay, so I've trimmed the pieces from my box. I hope you can see what that looks like. So what I want to do now, just to tidy things up, is I'm going to put some masking tape on the edges, and then I'm going to touch it up with some Dylusions paint, and I'm going to paint this black with some Dylusions as well. And again, I shall add some masking tape around, well, in fact I shall use what do you call this, washi tape, for goodness sakes. I'm going to put some washi tape around all the edges, just because I don't like this corrugated feel, and then I'm going to paint it with my black Dylusions paint, and when I've done that I shall come back. So that's what my cardboard insert looks like, and as I say, I'm just going to go over this with some Dylusions paint, just so that, you know, my black box is so beautiful. I want it to look nice and neat. Now, this is me going into things gung-ho. I've forgotten to take into account, I've painted my box and my partition, and it took literally 2 minutes. I used my dabber with my Dylusions paint. It's only taken 1 coat. That was so quick, and I haven't gone over the edges. But what I need to do, of course, is trim it off, because I've got this piece that's sticking up. Can you see that there? But what I want to do is cut some of the panels from my lid to stabilise the front and the back so that it doesn't wobble. Now this measures 7 inches, so I'm going to cut 2 from the lid that are 36 inches long, and in fact, no, it's centimetres, isn't it? And then 7 inches. Well, I'm going to cut it the same length as my box, and the same depth as well, so that I'll have 2 panels, one to go in here and one to go in here, just to stabilise my partition. Right, okay, so I'm getting there. So I have cut 2 pieces of the top of the box, and I'm going to slot one in the bottom like that. Then my other piece will then be able to slide up, and then I can slot the other piece in the back like that, and that's just going to wedge my central piece in place. But what I want to do is add some extra strengtheners that will go sort of onto my box like that. I shall have one there and one there, and I shall stick those down with some double-sided tape. And then the same this side here. I've got one there and one for here. I can already see that those need trimming slightly. They're a bit too long. I've obviously got them it's slightly longer on one side than the other, but I mean that doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. But I'm going to glue those in place and secure my central board. Right then, I've created my flaps, and I've used some of the red score tape in a couple of widths here to add some tape onto the back, and I'm just going to peel this off, if I can get it off, that is. So I just need to attach this to the edge. There we go. And I'm going to really sort of use my bone folder to burnish that on so that it's nice and secure. You'll notice that I've got a bit of a gap here. That's to take into account where it slots in. Okay, so my box now is wedged in place, and you can see that it's nice and sturdy because I've got these two pieces here sort of holding it, and now I've got my side pieces glued on. I forgot to mention before that I'd added washi tape to the front and the two sides as well, just because where I'd cut the slant with the Stanley knife, the X-Acto knife, it had left rough corrugated cardboard edge, which I didn't like, so I've put washi tape over that just to neaten everything up. And then I've put two little strips of washi tape here just to sort of tidy it and neaten things there. So now I want to add a compartment here, and I can't decide whether to have just one in the middle or two. And the way that I've done this is I've measured the width here. So that determines the width of my cardboard from here, and then I measured the depth there and the depth on this side here, and that's how I've cut my piece of cardboard. And I've just traced another one here, and I'm going to cut another one out because, as I say, I can't decide whether I want 2 or 3 compartments. So I'm just going to cut this out with my X-Acto knife. I shall add some more of the washi tape to the end panel here, and then we'll have a look and try and make a decision as to what I'm going to do next. Okay, so I've got my 2 little cards now to create my compartments, and one of them I'd cut a bit short, so I've added some washi tape to all of the sides, which has just added a little bit extra so that they're a bit more snug. And then I'm just going to show you how quick and easy it is to just paint them with the Dylusions paint. I mean, it just literally takes seconds. So there we go. That's one done. And you can see that I've changed clothes and that it's much later in the day. Sam's now back from football, and that's it. I'm in for the night. Right, okay, so I'm going to give that a quick dry, and then I'll flip it over and I'll paint the other side. Right, okay, so those are both painted, front and back, and I've cut some pieces of card exactly the same as I did for the side panels here. So there we go, that's what it looks like. So that's 2 inches across and just short of the overall height. And then there's 2 slightly longer ones that will be glued onto the back here. And of course that, when those slot in then, that will secure my panels in place. So I'm just going to tape these on, and then I shall add glue to these bits here, but I shall use my red tape to secure these on. And as soon as I've done that, I'll come back. Okay, so my pieces of cardboard. It's only thin. Oh, in fact, it's not. It's sort of out of a black sketch pad. It's thick paper. So those are taped onto my little inserts, and so they're going to go in like that. And then I shall glue them on. So I just need to space them fairly evenly. They don't have to be perfect. I think it's going to be about 4.5 inches. So I'm going to grab some of my tacky glue, which is what I use to glue these panels on. So in fact, let me show you. So I've just got my tacky glue. Hang on, let me just find a pin just to... So I'm just going to add a whole heap of tacky glue like this. So there we go, and let's... So we want it something like that. In fact, I'm not going to be able to do this now. Let's have a look, see if I can move this. I've got it upside down, you nincompoop. Oh, Nina. Right, okay. So let's have a look. 4.5. So yeah, about there. Of course, this dries clear, so at this stage it doesn't matter if I'm making a bit of a mess, which I am, and just squeeze it down and sort of mop up the excess glue. And that was all I did for the last one. And then do the same with the back. Just make sure it's sort of wedged down properly. Let's have a look. Yeah, 4.5-ish, that's fine. Mop up the excess glue, do the same on the other side. So just make sure that you sort of press it down to try and sort of get it nice and secure. Do the same on the other side. And then, as I say, that's just a case of leaving that to dry. So I'm going to do the same with this one here now. And then I'll show you at the end. And here we are, here's my finished caddy. I love it. I am so pleased I've made this. Kylie, you are forcing me to do things that I have been meaning to do for a very long time, and I've just put off for, you know, one reason and another. And I just absolutely love it. I think it looks really professional. I think because I've used a black shoebox, I've made life very easy for myself. That was so easy to make. And where the Chini, was it a Chini pair of shoes? I can't remember where the Chini logo was on the side. I've just gone over that with Dilutions. And I just love it. I'm toying with the idea of putting a strip of the washi across the back there, but I'm really not sure because that's nice and neat anyway. But what am I going to fill it with? Well, I just think this will look lovely displayed on my desk. Let me just have a dabble here. These, of course, are the salad spinner pieces that I did yesterday and the day before. And I just think these are so colourful and gorgeous. So right, let's add some of those. Let's just put those in nicely. This is the tag I made for Junk Use It or Lose It. It was the toilet roll one, and I did a binding on the side. And I'd forgotten that I hadn't used toilet roll, so I didn't have anything to slot mine into, and the binding I used didn't really work. So I ended up taking it off and just punching holes and putting some paracord through it, which is much, much better. It's so much easier to open and hasn't spoilt my little journal at all. So let's display that in there. And then, of course, I've got some of my gorgeous scrap dolls. So let's put the scrap monsters. And how pretty is that? I love it. Anyway, if you like that, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll put a link to Kylie's video and some of the others who are taking part in Junk Use It or Lose It, and go and have a look at Tammy Brackett's video as well, because she does a great purge, and this box is ideal for purged items. Anyway, take care everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.